Welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Podcast Handstand, and I am your host, JR. Today is Wednesday, April 17th. Quick announcement this weekend, we have the men's and women's NCAA Gymnastics Championships. You can watch the women finals on ABC Saturday, the 20th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and the men, their finals will begin 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can watch that on ncaa.com. This is a great opportunity for you to see some of the future Olympians that you see later on in the summer. It's also a really nice opportunity for you to sit down with your children who may do gymnastics and spend a little quality time showing support for something that they love. And what's really fun is that often those kids know more about the sport, they know the names of some of those high level skills, and they can educate you a little bit. So it's a fun opportunity for them to be able to kind of teach you a few things. So if you have an opportunity, please watch. Today, we're going to talk about why people participate in sports, physical activities, and reasons that may prompt them to quit. Of the 60 million kids who participate in organized sports, 70% of them drop out by the age of 13. That's sad considering all the benefits that we know sports provides. We're going to talk about reasons why kids will quit and things that we can do as parents, but also that relates to things that we do as well. Maybe you're part of a running club, you're training for a marathon. Maybe you participate in CrossFit or you do some other organized fitness activity. Why would you eventually quit? What keeps you going back? So let's dive in. According to a study in the Journal of Physical Activity and Health, the main reason why a person would quit an activity or sport is because it's no longer fun. I think we can all agree that if we're not having fun doing something, then we don't want to do it. Often we have jobs that we don't really like, but we keep going back and it's a grind, but we don't enjoy it. But when it comes to something that we're not being paid to do, there's less reason to stick around. Let's talk about some of the reasons why you would keep going back to a sport or activity. Number one is that you love your teammates or the fellow members in a class. If you have a child in a sport, let's take gymnastics for example, if all of their friends are doing gymnastics or the people that they are on a team with make it a positive experience, if they enjoy being around them, they're going to want to continue going back. If you're an adult and you're in a fitness group like a running club or CrossFit, and you enjoy the members that you see on a daily basis, then you're going to want to go back and see them. It makes the process more enjoyable. And then also, when you're not there, they wonder where you're at and they'll shoot you a text or they'll message you on social media and ask, "Hey, where you been? I've missed you in class." That's a really great feeling knowing that you're appreciated and that you're liked and that you're missed. That's going to make me have more motivation to go back to that environment. It's also one of those things that pushes us through those hard times. If I know that a practice is tough, or if I'm going through a time in my training that's difficult because I'm having trouble learning a skill, to have those folks around that I really enjoy that can support me, then that's going to make the process easier. And it's also going to motivate me to go back, even though I know what I'm going to be doing is difficult. Another reason why we continue to go back is that we like learning new things. Do you have a child who just really enjoys mastering something new? Are you one of those people who has self motivation to learn new things? If that's true, then you're going to want to continue going to whatever activity that you're involved in. If you have a child or if you know yourself, you're not self motivated necessarily to learn new things, then it can be a little bit more difficult to go back day after day. But again, if you're doing it with folks that you really enjoy being with, it does make that process much easier. Number three, coaches. This is so important. It's important to me because I am a coach, but also as an athlete, it's important to know that I have someone who's looking out for my best interest. I want someone who's knowledgeable, that's going to be able to explain things and going to be able to really understand how I learn and know that the way that I learn is going to be different than the people around me because we all learn differently. Having a coach who truly believes in you and a coach who really cares about your process and your progress means a lot. And especially to a child, someone that needs that extra motivation, they're still learning how to self motivate when they're really young. That coach can provide a really fun atmosphere and can be the difference of making an experience positive or negative. So, making sure that we have found that coach that really meshes with us and understands our needs is so important. Number 4, you wanna make sure that you're in an environment that works on pumping you up and improves you. When you're presented with a challenge, you want to know that you have the resources to accomplish it, and that goes with having a coach that knows what they're talking about and that can guide you through that learning process, teammates or class members that who's gonna motivate you by supporting you and being there when not only you have success, but whenever you fail, because we're all going to fail, and knowing that we can accomplish those things if we put the hard work in. For me personally, I really enjoy the process of learning something, but what I love most about the process is when I have worked really hard on something and I finally learn a skill that makes me feel like I'm accomplished. And we all want to feel accomplished. When you're working with your children and talking to them about maybe why they don't want to go back, this can be difficult for them to verbalize. Being frustrated with not being able to learn a skill and being challenged past their current level can really be demoralizing to a child, and they can't always explain in their words what they're feeling. So be patient with the younger ones when they're under the age of 10. They can't always exactly explain what they're feeling, but many times if you know that they're struggling with a skill, you can assume that that's really difficult for them and they need a little extra support either from you or from their teammates or coaches. And I would not be opposed to a parent coming up to me as a coach just reaffirming that my child maybe hasn't explained or verbalized that they're really frustrated with their training right now. But I wanted to let you know, just in case you didn't know, that they come home and they do talk about how it's making them feel sad that they're not able to learn a skill. So, as a parent, be proactive and let your coach know that. Many times they may already know that, but it doesn't hurt to give them a little insight because sometimes they don't understand because your kids can be really good at hiding their true feelings or just not being able to verbalize. They also want to make sure that you're there for them on the good and the bad days. It doesn't hurt to give them a little insight because sometimes they don't understand because your kids can be really good at hiding their true feelings or just not being able to verbalize. Number 5, folks want to have support from their friends or family. If you have a child, they want to see you in the stands, at their gymnastics meet, at their football games, at their tennis matches. It's really important to be able to have your loved ones there at the end of your competition to be able to give you a hug or a high five and just hearing that you're proud of their effort. It's important to know that when we're dealing with children, those nonverbal cues that we give in a stand are easily read. So if your kid falls and they look up at the stand and you drop your head or you slump your shoulders without saying anything, they know that you're disappointed in them. It might be a positive thing for you and your child to have like a hand signal. So if your child does fall or make a mistake, they can look up at you and you can give them like a thumbs up or maybe like wiping the sweat off their brow as a signal to them like, it's okay, no problem. Keep going. I'm still proud of you. We want to make sure that our physical reaction is still supporting them, and it's okay for your child to be disappointed. It's even okay for you to be disappointed, but we wanna make sure that we don't overshadow their attempts and their hard work because we're gonna have disappointment. You also don't wanna over celebrate a victory. A big hug and some ice cream is great, but you don't wanna go on and on about the victory. It only makes the losses harder because the pendulum has swung so far from the other direction. I really appreciate that hug or, the look in the eye. Hey, you did a great job. It's okay. Next time, we're going to get it. We all want that positive reinforcement. So make sure that you have those folks around you when you go to an event. You're bringing your support system if you can, and understanding that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we win or we lose, we come in first or we come in last. If we're having fun in the process, that's what makes the difference. So encouraging your children to understand this from the very beginning, we're going to go out there and we're going to do the very best job that we can, regardless of the outcome. I think you're a winner. As we continue to support our children in their sports, as we as adults continue to move through whatever physical activity that we're doing, continue to remember to have fun no matter what. That's the most important thing. We get the benefit of doing the activity: gymnastics, football, tennis, cross country, CrossFit. It doesn't matter what you're doing. The reward is that you're moving. And at the end of the day, we want our children to continue to move. We want them to be healthy. As adults, we also want to continue moving. As we get older, that physical activity is very important. So I encourage all of you out there, if you are an adult and you are not participating in any kind of physical activity, find something that you enjoy doing. Maybe it's yoga, maybe it's Pilates, maybe it's martial arts, maybe it's something that you've wanted to do for a very long time. And you know what? I'm going to finally do this. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to start this process because I've always wanted to do it. Take the time for yourself, because as we get older, we need to continue to move so we can be as healthy and strong. Find something where there's other folks involved that you enjoy being around, and know that the benefit of moving is going to keep you healthier as you. I would love to hear what kind of activities you participate in, so feel free to leave those in the comment section. Also, if you've not subscribed or liked the podcast, please do so and feel free to share with anybody you'd like. Also, please take a moment to check out my website, jrthegymnasticscoach.com. If you scroll down to the very bottom of the homepage, there's a section where you can subscribe, and then you can receive exclusive content from me. I hope you guys all have a great weekend. And again, if you have an opportunity, please make sure and watch gymnastics. And until next time, I'll see you then.